Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing you another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Harley Quinn from the upcoming The Suicide Squad film. These figures were in stock at GameStop.com. There was a sale going on. It was like $10 off if you spend $75 or more. Free shipping. They were selling for $24.99, which is the retail price for these figures. Very excited to have these Suicide Squad figures before the movie comes out. That is a rare. Harley Quinn is played by Margot Robbie. This will be her third appearance as Harley Quinn in the DC Cinematic Universe. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging here. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Harley Quinn, collect to build King Shark. This is the fourth figure of the wave. Here's Harley Quinn posed up. She's got some sort of a staff here. King Shark's legs looking phenomenal and huge. One side of the package, Harley Quinn from The Suicide Squad. Other side, somebody says Harley Quinn. At the bottom, there's a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode in case that helps anybody. And on the back side here, you see Harley Quinn posed up from the movie, instructions on how to build King Shark, and then the rest of the wave. So no further ado, let's open her up. And I did end up getting the entire wave of figures from GameStop. They were $24.99 each. A lot of the time GameStop will upcharge. They didn't this time. There was also a sale going on. I paid with shipping and taxes about $96 for these four figures. If you do the math, that breaks down to less than $20 a figure if you add King Shark. Pretty cool. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here she is with all her accessories laid out. She does come with a display stand, a collector's card, and then sort of a pike, or spear, or staff. But before we take a look at the accessories, let's take a look at the actual figure. So this is Harley Quinn, Harley and Quinzel, played by Margot Robbie from the upcoming The Suicide Squad film. This is her third cinematic appearance as Harley Quinn. She debuted in 2016's Suicide Squad. She's wearing her red dress here. I've seen a lot of people complain that they made this as her outfit in the figure versus the other outfit from the trailers. I personally am very happy they made the dress. I think it looks very good. And frankly, we haven't seen the movie yet. We don't know which outfit she wears most of the time. So let's take a look at her. Starting with her face here. Her eyes are a little bit lopsided, but the likeness is very good. I don't know if it's a makeup around the eyes, the cheekbones, the mouth, but I think they really captured Margot Robbie's likeness pretty nicely. She's got one red ponytail, one black ponytail, blonde hair, part of the middle. Looks pretty good. Notice on the back, her tattoo seems to be altered. In the past, it said property of, and it showed a picture of Mr. J. Now it says property of no one. She's got these sort of red sashes around both of her arms. A ton more tattoos here. Red dress here. I think the sculpting is fantastic on this thing. A ton of different detail, ton of texturing. And the dress is very short on one side, giving her leg complete freedom to come out and do whatever you want to do. A lot more tattoos here. Looks like double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, some black boots down there. Overall, I'm very pleased with what I'm looking at so far. And then, just a closer look at her face. I feel like the pupils in her eyes are not lined up quite properly. Just looks a little off. It's very minute though. I think the likeness is fantastic. What do you guys think? I've seen some complaints on this figure, but I think they did an excellent job capturing Margot Robbie's face. And you can even see the different kind of paints they used. Notice how the face is not glossy, but the lips are. Now let's check out her accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. She comes with this display stand, typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on her feet, very thin, very basic. Now let's look at her collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Margot Robbie from the Suicide Squad. She has the same accessory and dress the figure has. Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad. On the back side here, there's a little description. If anybody wants to read it, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at her spear or staff. Now my first thought when seeing this accessory, I wonder if Javelin, he's another member of the Suicide Squad, dies really early in the film, and she picks up his javelin and uses it for the rest of the film. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what this is. It's just a thought popped in my head. It looks like it's supposed to be sharp on one side. It's completely gold, but it does have some sort of wrap here. I see sculpting detail in the middle. Here's Harley holding the spear. She can hold it with either one hand or with two. She can also sort of hold it into a relaxed position. And another accessory I thought might be cool for this figure. This didn't come with her, but I had several of these different Harley Quinn style baseball bats. And here's Harley holding the bat. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, now let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, she's sitting at about 6.8 inches tall, which you could translate to a hair above 17 centimeters. Now let's check out her articulation. Start with her head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. She can look up and down a very impressive amount. Can tilt her head from one side to the other, giving her a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. She does have that signature McFarlane butterfly joint. You can see between her shoulder and chest area. Just increase the range of motion in her shoulder there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. Her wrist here, it can rotate and it's going to be hinged as well. In her torso, we've got this dress on top. It's a soft goods overlay. It's going to prohibit some of the articulation. She's got one, possibly two ball joints inside of there. You can see as they can sort of rotate around, go forward and back. But everything sort of just pops back into place. You can't really hold any of those poses. I did also notice as I'm turning her, got some sort of stress marks starting to appear here. I feel like if you could cut the dress, you might be able to add some articulation, but it's probably going to look hideous. McFarlane didn't want to ruin the aesthetic of the dress, but I do think some kind of a little slit along here would really go a long way. Can't wait to see what people come up with. Going further down, the dress itself is very soft. It's not going to obstruct her articulation too much. Obviously, her right leg here is going to be a little bit prohibited. Left leg can go out about this far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept inside of there. Rotation, pretty much non-existent. Legs, forward about that far. You can see the difference there. Back, not too much. Double jointed knees below that. You can completely use it on this leg. This one here, you can really only use one of the joints. Let's go further down. Her ankle here goes forward and back. Can rotate, can tilt and rock. And she has toe articulation. Now I will say, I appreciate the way this looks, but it definitely gets rid of any use of the articulation or torso area. Here's a Suicide Squad in a broken down building, preparing for battle. And here they are, quick to jump into action. Here's Harley Quinn, posed up and ready to fight. Here's King Shark and the team of figures from the Suicide Squad. So far, McFarlane has given us these 5 figures. There has been no announcement or any tease about any further figures, but there's about 16 more characters they can make from this film. I really hope they trickle a few more out at least. Now let's check her out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, next to all the regular figures from the Suicide Squad wave. Add King Shark to the mix, and here's the entire wave. There are variants of Peacemaker, Bloodsport, and King Shark, and if the movie's good as reviewers seem to say it is, I'm hoping the popularity will generate some more figures from this film. Here she is, next to Zack Snyder's Justice League Batman. This one was played by Ben Affleck, and you know that Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn has a long history with Ben Affleck's Batman. Then, next to the 6 different heroes from Justice League, these heroes are from the same shared universe that Harley Quinn is from the Suicide Squad. They're all part of the DC Cinematic Universe. And here she is, next to all the figures I have so far from McFarlane's DC Multiverse, Zack Snyder's Justice League collection. I'm missing at least 4 figures, and I hope to complete the collection soon. Then, next to the Wonder Woman 1984 figures, these figures are also from the DC Cinematic Universe. Here she is, next to Arrow. Arrow's the only live-action McFarlane figure that's not from the DC Cinematic Universe. He's from TV's Arrowverse. And now, let's check her out next to the only other Harley Quinn figure McFarlane has made. This Harley Quinn figure appears to be for the animated series, although the materials in the packaging definitely implies she's from the New 52 comic series. And here are all the different female figures McFarlane has made in their DC Multiverse line. The next one I'm aware of coming out is going to be Todd McFarlane's originally designed Wonder Woman. Now let's check her out, next to some other Harley Quinn figures from the DC Cinematic Universe. Now originally, when McFarlane first launched the DC Multiverse line, there was a Birds of Prey Harley Quinn advertised in the back of the packaging. I believe Margot Robbie wasn't happy with the figure, so it got kind of shot down. Rumor is that figure is going to come out still. Fingers crossed. Here she is, next to a Mezco Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. Then, next to some Mattel DC Multiverse Harley Quinn figures from Suicide Squad. And here she is, next to some Mafex Harley Quinn figures from Suicide Squad. And then, next to some SH Figure Arts Harley Quinn figures from both Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how she fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Harley Quinn figures as I can along the way. Here she is, with some of her McFarlane Toys brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane figures, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And here she is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, next to some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here she is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here she is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here she is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here she is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a very nice figure. I really like her face. For one of the standard $20 figures, the likeness is excellent. Her accessory is pretty cool. I wonder if it's a spoiler from the film though. Her sculpt and paint job are excellent. The tattoos look great. The texture on the dress, everything there is fantastic. Her articulation is good. It is definitely prohibited from her dress there. Her legs, her torso. You get a lot of stuff that's limited. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give her a 7.5 out of 10. If it wasn't for the articulation, she'd easily be an 8. This figure is very visually pleasing. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.